Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the royals. We end with our weekly feature, The Comments of the Week. The stories, photos, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 147. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra, I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser.
So we were supposed to be back last week, but I got sick, so we took an extra week off. And I don't want to say that we're going to have episodes out the next 2 weeks, because I want to reserve the right to be lazy or take time off. And you were right when you said we should be more loose around the awards season.
Yeah, this coming weekend we have the SAG Awards, but I don't think we have anything the week in between the SAGs and the Oscars, so...
It's coming up fast. Let me look at the calendar. The Spirit Awards are the 4th, but they're not on TV. I think I checked and they're not on TV, so I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I've enjoyed this award season. I feel like it's been appropriately paced. It doesn't feel like we're being inundated with, award show after award show after award show all in a row.
No, but they are falling on days that we have a break the next day where we would have a lighter day, but we have to do these award shows. So I haven't been watching a lot that's new. I watched 911 Lone Star, that's back, and I've been watching The Last of Us.
I've been catching up with a lot of the Oscar-nominated movies. So I watched Aftersun.
I saw your coverage of that. You thought it was like a student film. It wasn't all that.
Yeah, if someone had told me that it was someone's master's project, I would believe them. It had that kind of feel to it where it wasn't bad. It was just very art student.
Okay.
And I didn't think Paul Mescal was bad. I really didn't. He was fine in the role. He was very good. I just didn't think it was particularly an Oscar-worthy performance. It wasn't.
Yeah.
He acted pleasantly and well in a very plotless independent film. That's all it was.
Okay.
Now the little girl, she was great. The little girl was wonderful.
All right. And you saw the Fabelmans and Wakanda Forever. I haven't seen hardly any movies this season. I have to get on that.
So I'm not a big Marvel person, but I did like the first Black Panther movie a lot.
That was really good, yeah.
Yeah, I came into Wakanda Forever just I wonder if I'm even going to understand what's going on. I didn't understand half of the, backstory about the guy from Sherlock. I didn't understand his whole deal as a CIA something or other. But
yeah.
I loved just everything in Wakanda. I thought that was great. And Letitia Wright was great in it. And so was Angela Bassett. I understand why, Angela Bassett is getting all these nominations. She was great.
She can act.
And I loved The Fabelmans, too.
All right. I'll watch them both. They sound like fun movies.
And, everyone was making this big deal about Michelle Williams doesn't deserve to be in the lead actress category. She totally does. She was the lead of The Fabelmans. Yeah, I thought that was a very charming movie. It's very Spielberg-y. And, obviously it's about his childhood.
Yeah.
He references his own movies in the stories about his childhood. There's some very, big E.T. references, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. There's even, some references to that. Yeah,
right.
And Michelle Williams is great. Seth Rogen is great in it.
I want to see if my kid wants to watch it with me because he's seen a lot of those Spielberg movies. We watched Close Encounters together. I think he would be interested in that.
Yeah, but I highly recommend The Fabelmans. I thought it was a very sweet, kind, gentle movie.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the royals. So I wanted to talk about this crazy, dumb story from last week where Kate was trying to counter one of Meghan's very mild points about her in the Netflix documentary, and Harry repeated this in his book, that Kate didn't hug Meghan when they first met and that she was kind of snubbed by Kate and William. And instead of owning that she's not a hugger, what Kate has been doing is hugging people. And it's so dumb.
It is so stupid because the explanation was right there, and you could have made Meghan look bad again. You could have said, well,
Yeah.
Kate is just a reserved person. She's very classy. You could explain it that way. You could just say, well, of course she doesn't go around hugging people. She's not a peasant,
It's a cultural thing, too.
Yeah.
You could say that people don't really hug in England as much. And
yeah, that was the way to play it, to act like Meghan was the one who was wrong again, that she was wrong to just go around hugging people.
Yeah. And then they had a quote from this former Parliament guy, Brexit leader, Nigel Farage.
Farage.
Yeah, whatever. Kate didn't hug Meghan because she only hugs people she likes.
Yeah, and it became this huge thing. I don't understand why everyone was like, well, of course Kate hugs people. Of course she's warm and friendly, despite all evidence to the contrary.
And they've been on this story for weeks now. Just let it go.
But it just shows that Kate and William are both paying such close attention to what Meghan and Harry are saying.
And the stories that are getting headlines from their documentary and the book, and they're just very thin-skinned about it. So what? I didn't hug her. Who cares? Own it.
Yeah.
And so we heard that Kate was hiring this ballbuster, no-nonsense private secretary. And then there was a story today from this royal biographer who gave a quote and said that Kate doing this is somehow revenge on Meghan because she's hiring this brand savvy, clever woman. And this press strategy makes no sense. It's possible some of these people are speaking out of turn, but yet Kate has been trying to get compared to Meghan. I mean, she dresses like her, for God's sake, and it's just ridiculous.
Meghan hasn't even said, Kate is incompetent, her staff is incompetent. Meghan has never said that. But they are just going out and proving
they're telegraphing it.
They're telegraphing it every single time that Kate does not surround herself with professional people and advisors who know what the fuck they're doing. She doesn't have those people on her staff. And so they're just oh yeah, sure, just go around hugging people like Meghan used to and just dress like Meghan, and we'll tell everyone that Meghan lives rent-free in your head.
Exactly.
And Kate is yeah, sure, that's a great idea.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you would think she wouldn't want to be compared to Meghan because there's no way she can compete on that level. She should just be herself, but whatever. So we had the BAFTAs last weekend, and Kate and William decided to go. And Kate wore this white chiffon Jenny Packham gown, which it could have been reworked. She already had it, and she had it changed a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, so the explanation for the gown is that it was the original McQueen gown that she had made in 2019 for the BAFTAs, and then she had Jenny Packham put toilet paper on it or something, change
so
the shoulder,
poof on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I don't even believe that it was just the same gown reimagined on the shoulder. I think she got a whole new fucking gown, but that's just me.
Yeah, whatever she did. She looked ridiculous. She had black, big, long opera gloves on, and she looked like budget Cruella de Vil. It was not a good look for her. I just wanted to mention, too, her makeup. She's still doing this garish, heavy, early 2000s makeup that we saw at her wedding. Remember when she insisted on doing her own makeup? And she's still doing that. She's not blending.
There's something that I stopped writing about because she was just never going to change it, which is that she doesn't know the difference between daytime makeup and evening makeup. She wears really heavy eye makeup for middle of the day events. She has no reference of how to dress for an event during the day or how to dress and wear your makeup for an evening event. She just doesn't know, and she never cared enough to learn.
Or she could hire somebody to do it for her and help her. They have great makeup artists in England. I watch a whole reality show about it on Netflix. Yeah, so she went to that, and she was wearing these giant gaudy earrings that were $28 from Zara. You wrote about that. She could wear any diamonds that she wanted. But she was trying to make some kind of point, austerity or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the earrings were the most offensive part, honestly. Everyone was obsessed with how stupid the gloves looked, and they did look stupid. The gloves did not go with the dress. But the cheap fucking earrings that looked like Christmas ornaments, that was the most offensive part to me. You're gonna like go out to Remembrance Day or a funeral, like gagging in pearls and diamonds, and then you'll go to the BAFTAs in these cheap, tacky, ornamental earrings. What kind of point is she trying to make? She's trying to make a point that she doesn't give a shit about the BAFTAs.
It was bizarre. And then her glove designer gave an interview to People magazine that sounded like they were trying to puff her up like they always do, calling the opera gloves iconic and transformative and saying, like, imagine Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's without the gloves. It's just another little black dress. With the gloves, it becomes iconic and emblematic of our age. Like, you could say, okay, she's talking up the gloves because she's a glove designer, but it also sounds like you're trying to make Kate into something she's not. Like, they're always telling us, oh, she's so great, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's so smart, she's an expert. And this is more of that. Like, oh, she's a fashion plate. She's an icon.
They'll always tell and never show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always like that with her fashion. The thing is that I don't hate the idea of gloves in general. Like, if she had worn a very sleek, like, black gown and worn those gloves, it would have been a lot more interesting.
Or she could wear white gloves with a gown. Yeah. Lace or something. I like Hong Chao's gloves. Like, they were like these clear kind of mesh gloves. They were cool.
That gown did not need gloves. It looked stupid with that gown in particular. But you can't tell Kate that because she doesn't have an eye for anything.
So we talked about Kate's fashion on Zoom, and this is Karen and Amira.
That gown was just terrible. Even when she tries to glam up, she still looks dated.
She doesn't have any taste or any style. With situations like that, if you have no innate style, that's what it looks like.
Those horrible earrings. Somebody said, oh yeah, she couldn't deign to wear the royal jewels around the peasants. So she had to get some $28 earrings from Zara.
No, I think that was her response to everyone talking about how much money she'd been spending. The thing is like all of the jewels are reworn. So you could have just worn.
That's what I'm saying. Just rewear.
Like, it's not like they're new. So
yeah, everything that she wears anyway is borrowed. Just laugh at her when she went to that nursing home. That was just a classic Meghan look. The camel coat, the turtleneck, that's all Meghan.
Well, she took that one picture of Meghan in the turtleneck with the pants and the coat, and she's bought a bajillion iterations of just that outfit. And she's just switching it up.
Right. Different color coats. Yeah, different color coats, different color turtleneck, everything. Yeah.
So yeah, Kate also wore like a classic Meghan look when she went to the senior center on Fat Tuesday to make pancakes.
Yeah, that look was very Meghan. It looked exactly like what Meghan wore to one of her very first events when she was just engaged to Harry. The turtleneck, the cut of the trousers, the camel coat, all of that is just stuff that has been in Meghan's closet forever. And Kate only bought after she saw Meghan wear it.
Yeah.
Except for the earrings. Kate wore some giant, like, enamel earrings.
Why doesn't she copy Meghan's styling? Like, you know, Meghan has the beautiful dainty jewelry.
Yeah, she loves small jewelry.
It matches nice. And her makeup and hair is usually quite good. Sometimes she doesn't blend as well, but like she usually looks pretty on point.
Kate can't copy it to make it look better than what Meghan looks like.
Because it's not authentic.
Yeah. And I just think Kate doesn't have that style. She doesn't have that innate sense of like that goes together. You know, I'll put this piece of jewelry with this outfit and it'll look great. She doesn't have that.
I mean, she worked in fashion for a minute. So at that visit, they were making pancakes, and there was a pretty funny picture of the pancake being flipped by Kate, and it looked like a lumpy mess. And it wasn't her fault, probably. The batter was bad, is what they were saying. And
well, everyone was kind of yelling at me because I was trying to give Kate a pass. She wasn't in control of the batter. She wasn't in control of that little dinky stovetop. I think that there were a lot of elements that contributed to her screwing up the pancake.
And the pancakes, I was reading about the British pancakes because someone commented that They're like crepes. And I remember living in Germany, you couldn't get American pancake batter because they made crepes. During festivals, you could get crepes made right in front of you. It was so nice. And you could get like Nutella in them and Eyre liqueur, which is like an egg liqueur, and whipped cream. Yeah, so I Googled it and they said that British pancakes are closer to the crepes, but they're like a little bit thicker. So they're not like a fat pancake like we're used to.
Yeah, I think American audiences looked at that sad little pancake being flipped and they were like, oh God, she really fucked that up.
Yeah, it's more like a crepe, so it would just be a lumpy crepe. And crepes are tricky. I don't blame her for that either, you know.
Yeah, I just think there were too many other things being screwed up.
Yeah, there's plenty to criticize her for. So last week, South Park had an episode with the Sussexes in it and kind of scaring them. Like they were holding up signs that said, leave us alone and stuff. And most of us were like, holy shit, that show is still airing? Like they're still making new episodes.
Seriously, when I first wrote that story, I was like, okay, so it's still on the air, because I really didn't know, and I had to look it up of, like, when was their contract extended? Are they, like, you know, just phoning it in for, like, the last
What channel
season?
are they on? Yeah. Yeah.
And, like, I was shocked when I found that Paramount had paid them all this money and, like, I don't know, several years ago. They did sign a big contract extension, but I think it's mostly for, like, streaming shit. So I don't know if that's exactly for South Park. Anyway, yeah, I was surprised as well that South Park is still on the air and that Matt Stone and Trey Parker are still being paid so much.
It's wild. And they rely on us talking about them to earn that money. And, you know, I've only seen the show maybe 3 times and was so offensive. I was like, holy crap. You know, people know what they're getting and a lot of people like it and it's still airing. And the British press latched onto this like, oh, the Americans are making fun of the Sussexes. You know, they hate them. And most of us were like, whatever, nobody watches that show.
Yeah, the British media once again believes that American culture is very homogenized and that everyone is paying attention to the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, everyone was like, oh shit, South Park is still on?
Right?
And like their ratings have gone way downhill in recent years. It's not a cultural touchstone like it was 20 years ago.
Like Kanye's Gay Fish or... Like after that aired, people were like, oh, well, South Park made fun of Will and Kate after their royal wedding. And that scene, like, coincidentally featured Prince William. He pulled Kate's arm off during their wedding and he stuck it up his butt. And everyone's like, oh, okay. So
yeah. And like, you got to keep the same energy for that episode, I guess.
Yeah. And it probably was more relevant back then, you know?
Yeah, I did not get the whole British media's obsession with this one South Park episode and what it said about, you know, American culture or how Americans feel about this or that. Like, we didn't take a fucking vote. We didn't decide as a society that South Park should make fun of Harry and Meghan. Like, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they just went off and did this shit and, like, they did it so that people would talk about them.
And it worked. And, like... They're more relevant than they've been in years. I guess somewhere it was reported that the Sussexes are going to sue South Park because they issued a statement, which is pretty rare for them. And their spokesperson said, it's all frankly nonsense, totally baseless and boring. There you go.
Yep. And now the British media is complaining about them making a statement. Well, they didn't say they weren't bothered by it. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, they were like, Meghan is so hurt. Come on. She knows what South Park is. She's like, wow, that show's still on. So we have the coronation coming up May 6th. That's about 10 weeks from now. And the British press is really trying to bait Harry into coming. And last week we heard that Charles just isn't going to have time to meet Harry, like even if he comes. And then we're hearing that Harry's still deciding whether to come. And the latest story reported by the Daily Mail is saying that it doesn't matter if Harry and Meghan come because they can't win either way, basically. Like, you know, we have them in a corner here.
Yeah. And the British media is going to keep on doing this for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
They're going to keep on writing these stories about what if they come? What if they don't come? Where are they going to sit? How are we going to ignore them? How are we going to snub them? How are we going to punish them? They really shouldn't come. Charles shouldn't have invited them. They're just going to keep going like that for the next 2 months.
Yeah. It's outrageous. So we talked about this on Zoom, and this is Karen, Ashley, Amira, and me. I hate excerpting myself. I don't like how I sound in these, but you need it for context.
We've been debating back and forth while you were gone about the whole Chubbly and whether or not Harry is going to go or not.
He's not going.
You don't think he's going?
No, I think he's just going to stay home.
I was thinking he would go just out of duty to his father and the institution. And if
it's the same thing I thought, Karen.
Yeah. I think it's like a quick in and out, just like with the Jubilee. He's not going to participate in a lot of things like, I'm going to go to this one thing and then I'm flying out.
If he does it, they'll try 5 different ways to be like, oh, we didn't let him wear this. We took this away from him. He didn't get this special thing like they did.
Or trap him there like they've tried to do before. They always try to corner him by himself.
Knowing the viper's nest that he'd be going into, I can't see her letting him go by himself.
She would stay home with the babies.
You think she would? Okay.
If he goes, I still am like,
I don't know. I don't have any feeling one way or the other at this point. I could see it going either way.
So do you think he's going to go? And if Harry goes, is he going to bring Meghan?
I think if he goes, he'll bring Meghan. And they'll probably bring the kids too, just because it's Archie's birthday, for the love of God.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that when I was saying that. Yeah.
I don't really have a sense if they will go or they'll stay home. I think they're just waiting to see a little bit closer to the coronation, like what Charles says to them or about them.
Yeah.
The one story that I really believed a week ago or so, some source said Harry won't go if it's going to be as toxic as it was for the Queen's funeral. I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
I think Harry knows that the situation was really bad around the funeral with the family and like with Charles trying to like go out of his way to snub Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, and all the ways that they tried to demean him by changing things on his uniform.
Right. If Harry gets a sense that it's just going to be a repeat of that, he's just going to stay home. I hope that's the case.
Yeah. They're showing that it's going to be a repeat of that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the comments of the week. So my comment of the week is on Peridot's post about Lil Nas X adopting kitties. Peridot is a cat person, and she wrote, I am completely a cat person and believe they truly should be the ones who occupy dogs' exalted place in our society. I like both cats and dogs. Like, I own cats all my life, and I have my first dog now. I think it's cute, and it's fine with me that people are opinionated, like saying they love cats more or dogs more. There were like a lot of great comments in that thread, and commenter Snarkle lost her cat this week. Everybody was sending her condolences. And my comment of the week is from Fuzzy Crocodile. And they said, I don't want to choose. I've had cats. I currently have a dog. I miss my cat's purr, lap cuddles, the headbutt for more pets. My dog is goofy. He also tries to cuddle in my lap, but is 100 pounds and loves butt scratches. Different, but awesome. I just thought that was cute and nice.
It was cute. My cat loves butt scratches.
All right.
Panther Kitty, he loves when I scratch his little root at the tail.
Aw, yeah. My dog likes me to rub his stomach, and he does that thing where his leg goes really fast. It's so adorable. I'm trying to teach him how to play dead. Like, I go bang, bang, and he lays on his side. I just started teaching him yesterday, but he only does it if he's already in a down position. Like, if he's seated, he just looks at me like, huh? But if I go run me down and make him go down first, then he'll lay on his side for bang, bang. I'm hoping he gets it and can play dead, but...
It's cute. All right, my comment of the week is from the Evangeline Lilly story that I wrote about, like, her actually bonkers interview with a podcast and with Esquire, where she sounded like such a self-centered asshole.
Defending her anti-vax shit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew she was anti-vaccine. I knew she was an asshole about the pandemic. I did not know that she was an asshole about every fucking thing.
Everything in general.
Like, she is really an awful person. I was shocked by how awful she is. And she was like talking about like when the Me Too story broke, and like her very first thought was, I can't pretend to be a cool girl anymore. That was her immediate thought of like, I can't pull this bullshit anymore. How is this going to affect me? And so I guess St. Lou Gal wrote, she became a misogynist to survive misogyny. 3 paragraphs later, the feminist told me I could have it all. You're still a misogynist, babe. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's pretty bad. Marvel is really covering for these women. And she framed it like that too in that interview, right? Like, oh, they said it was fine.
Yeah, Marvel told her that they weren't going to interfere with her personal views or her personal life. I think it affects professional life, because if you're not getting vaccinated and you're working on
you can spread deadly disease.
It's a public health issue, not a personal issue.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would be very interested to know if Marvel treated her differently than Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
But we'll probably never find out, because Marvel does a lot to protect these anti-vax people.
They do. I respect more the shows that are like, okay, if you don't want to get vaxxed, you don't have to keep your job. We'll write you out.
And I mean, Black Panther couldn't do that because they were already dealing with no Chadwick.
Yeah, they lost their lead.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think she did say she got vaccinated. Letitia Wright did. She just was spouting anti-vax propaganda.
Well, I don't think she ever said...
She minced words?
Yeah, she minced words. She kind of left it open, but she just said, I never spouted all of the anti-vaccine stuff, which, you know, who knows?
She wasn't as blatant as...
She wasn't as blatant as Evangeline at all. It was all sources told us that Letitia told them something.
And she shared some stuff, like, from other people.
There were a few stupid posts on Instagram, but nothing of the Evangeline, like, I'm here for bodily autonomy bullshit. That's what I want to know. What was the difference in how Marvel treated Evangeline and how they treated Letitia? I really want to know. But I'm probably never going to find out.
Yeah. No, they keep it under wraps because they're trying to make money.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks, bitches.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again.